So yesterday, unfortunately, in the morning, we got the news that Dwayne Haskins, Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback, only 24 years old, passed away. He was killed being struck by a dump truck on the highway. Obviously, the entire NFL world reacted to that because it's shocking and it's tragic. Absolutely. And our heart goes out to Dwayne Haskins' family and friends and loved ones. But the thing that people maybe talked about more after this was the way that a couple people reacted. Specifically, the one who's still getting heat this morning is Mr. Adam Schefter. And I can pull this up and show you guys why that is the case. This is from Barstool. Adam Schefter's a lame-ass bitch for real. This was Adam Schefter's initial tweet. The first one, I believe, to report, at least the first one of any notoriety.
Yeah, he was the first one.
Dwayne Haskins, a standout at Ohio State before struggling to catch on with Washington and Pittsburgh in the NFL, died this morning when he got hit by a car in South Florida, per his agent Cedric Saunders. Haskins would have turned 25 on May 3rd. Now, he has since deleted that tweet. There's nothing inaccurate about what he tweeted. Dwayne Haskins did struggle in the NFL. But a lot of people are like, why are you making this tweet about his struggles in the NFL as opposed to just the news that this guy died? Now, I don't know if I would have tweeted that out if I were Adam Schefter, but that's what he tweeted out. People are coming after him hard. There are people calling for his job, like a lot of people. There are athletes, there are NFL players out there who are roasting him and putting him on blast, and he ended up deleting it. Here's Cardell Jones blasting him. How about Dwayne Haskins, son, husband, Buckeye brother, friend, beloved teammate has passed away. The fuck his career ups and downs have to do with him, unfortunately, losing his life. Praying for the Haskins family. Lamar Jackson, Adam Schefter, you lame as fuck, all around grown ass man, and can look in the eye and smile at yourself. So he's getting blasted not just by normal Twitter people, but also by NFL athletes.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of different ways to look at this. So, do I think there's anything inherently wrong with what he said? No. Everything he said was accurate. Probably slightly, and I mean very slightly insensitive, at worst. But the other way to look at this is that Adam Schefter, and he doesn't get like overly ridiculous with his politics or anything like that, but when there's like some narrative to be pushed about Colin Kaepernick or black quarterbacks or racism in the NFL, he's the first to jump on that train and pile on with that fake narrative bullshit. So now to see someone that constantly pushes the fake narrative to get piled on over fake outrage, I think is pretty fucking funny. I have no sympathy for Adam Schefter. He's getting absolutely destroyed, and I have no sympathy for him. No, I don't really think there was anything wrong with what he said, but I also enjoy watching him getting piled on because I love when these people get eaten alive by the same nonsense that they're out there pushing. And Schefter's consistently pushing bullshit and nonsense whenever it fits the narrative or when he thinks it puts him in the cool kids club. So now seeing him getting eaten alive, pretty damn awesome. I love it.
Yeah. Honestly, I was actually out when I found out what happened, and I kind of glanced over his tweet. I didn't even realize that he said he struggled, because it's true. He did struggle, but he did make the team. It really wasn't as bad as Gil Brandt, and we're going to talk about him later, I'm pretty sure. Schefter's getting crushed.
He's getting crushed.
He is getting crushed. And
yeah,
I don't believe he's going to lose his job because ESPN just signed him to $10 million a year. That settlement would be outrageous if they fired him. He's not going to get fired. That's not going to happen.
The thing is with this specific case, and I mentioned this to Jeremy while it was ongoing, like when it started happening, I said, this could legitimately affect Adam Schefter's career, not because I think he'll be fired, but because if enough NFL athlete, that his job is literally getting inside information from people in the NFL. So if enough NFL athletes are outraged and decide that they don't want to talk to Adam Schefter anymore, they want to freeze out Adam Schefter, that becomes a narrative that affects his job as an NFL insider, which is insane to think about. And the backlash is crazy. I mentioned this because I noticed it because I read the Pro Football Talk article when it came out. Dwayne Haskins struck by car and killed. This came out immediately. It was like one of the first articles that was out there. You know what it says? You know what it says at the bottom when it's describing his career? On the strength of that fantastic season, Washington chose Haskins with the 15 overall pick, but he struggled through an up and down rookie season and was released. But no one's coming after Pro Football Talk because it wasn't a tweet. It was in an article.
Yeah.
It's not as easily consumable or seen or screenshotted as a tweet.
Right.
But, you know, it's not inaccurate. Dwayne Haskins had a tough time in the NFL like a lot of people do. One of the most ridiculous parts about this, and one of the reasons it's continuing on the way it is because people immediately made it about race. People said, it's only because he's a black man that you mention his struggles as a quarterback. You wouldn't say this if Drew Lock had been killed. You wouldn't mention that he struggled. But that is that's the framework that so many of these woke lunatics view this through now.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think and again, just because I think it's the obvious thing to bring up, like, what do you think if something happened to Tim Tebow? How would his NFL career be perceived? Like, Tim Tebow, stand out at Florida, great college football player, struggled in the NFL with 4 different teams.
Yeah.
You know, like that would be the narrative that was around his career. It's a factual statement. Now, like the other thing here too is like what happened with Dwayne Haskins is very shocking, very shocking. And it's obviously super, super sad. I don't know the details. I don't think anybody really knows the true details. What we know is what's been reported. And based on what's been reported, I don't think that it's crazy to like, people are asking all of these questions like, oh, is this like freak accidents do happen? They do. Yeah. And I mean, does anybody remember the accident with the Star Trek actor from years ago?
The guy who played Chekhov.
Yeah. Anton Yelchin.
Oh yeah.
So like he had a freak accident in how he died where there was something
really
like
weird.
There was way weird. Like it was, he was at his house and I guess he had a gate in a hill for his driveway, and I guess he cranked his car up. I don't know if he had it in neutral or something like that. He got out of his car, walked down the hill to open the gate, and apparently the car rolled backwards and crushed him in between the brick barrier in his car, and he couldn't move. So he literally just died. He was stuck there until he died. That's the freakiest shit I've ever heard. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. So with what happened here, all we can do is based on the information we have at this point in time. So he was in a rental car and he was in Miami. And again, in a rental car to like, yeah, if you hear that somebody ran out of gas, you're like, how do you run out of gas? Well, when you're in a rental car, that's not something you're used to. Like you're not
familiar with it. You don't know where all the gas stations are on your way to where you're going. You might not even realize that you're low because I damn near ran out of gas when I bought my car because I was unfamiliar with the
gauges,
with the fuel gauge.
Like yeah,
right. It was the first digital fuel gauge I'd ever had actually.
Yeah.
And I damn near ran out of gas. So I can see how it happens, but yeah, the insanity that has resulted from the Adam Schefter stuff. There's people calling for him to be fired. You know, there's people saying again that he's racist. It's just so nonsensical. But like Jeremy said, these people eat each other alive. Adam Schefter has played a role in some of these types of things before, and now it's coming for him. He has not apologized yet, and I don't think he needs to. I think he should just continue to let things play out, let people scream into the wind.
I'm thinking eventually he probably will, because you brought it up. What if NFL personnel or players don't want to talk to him anymore?
Yeah.
He's probably going to come out. He hasn't done it yet. He's probably going to come out, give an apology. I mean, Gil Brandt has already got crushed, and he's already apologized already now. I believe Schefter's going to do it.
I have no sympathy for Schefter and what he's going through. So I really don't. So I again, I asked Ryan this the other day. I guess he did apologize for the Deshaun Watson tweet, I guess. But like generally, like I've never heard Schefter's Twitter account seems very robotic. It doesn't seem, there's no personality involved with it. It's very much like, I'm going to report on what's happening. And you don't see like him be very personal unless there's some type of, I don't know, when Chris Mortensen was talking about that fucking lawsuit or something Brian Flores and how it's the most important moment in the history of the NFL or some dumb shit. And Schefter's like clapping emojis.
Yeah.
Dumb shit like that, but he typically doesn't show any remorse for anything he's done or said with it's upset people in the past. But this one, I've never seen one take off like this. So I guess time will tell. Doesn't matter to me. I don't like Schefter. I respect what he brings to the table in terms of reporting. I don't like Schefter. I think he's a two-faced piece of shit. But this particular situation is just funny to me, watching him get piled on.
He will apologize in certain situations. Like, remember when it came out that he had sent a story over to Dan Snyder to get it okayed before he ran with it?
Yeah.
Because it all came out. He came out and made sort of an apology clarification for that. When he put out some sort of tweet, I don't know if it was when Deshaun Watson wasn't indicted by the grand jury or whether when he signed with Cleveland, there was something that he ended up, clarifying and apologizing for because of how he phrased it or some bullshit. So he will, like, if there's backlash, there are times, but I don't think that he made any mistakes in this one. It was a little insensitive. I wouldn't have tweeted that, but it's not wrong. Yeah. It's not inaccurate. And it's not, I don't know. He said he was great at Ohio State, said he struggled in the NFL. And, sadly, he passed away. But we'll see what happens with Adam Schefter.